I kind of wanted to do a recommendations video today just because I think it's holiday season for most people. I know that it's the summer in the northern hemisphere. It's like the dead of winter here, but my sister just got out of school and is on her school holidays, so I'm assuming it's holiday season for a lot of people. So that's kind of the theme. These are basically just books I feel like people could read at the beach, at the pool, or like when you're going through a road trip, or like when you're just on the plane or something like that. They're really fast reads in my opinion. I tried to kind of grab books from different genres. I hope I did a really good job. So let's just get into it. The first book that I want to recommend is a Peter Pan retelling, and it's Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. This is probably one of my favorite books of all time. It is basically a reimagining of Peter Pan, specifically the character of Tiger Lily, because as you all know, we didn't really get much of her character development and her character arc and story in the original. So this is kind of her reimagined backstory. Although it's not the cheeriest of books, it's very kind of melancholy, bittersweet. I think it's one of those really quick reads, because as soon as you read it you don't really want to put it down, because it's such an interesting story. Next, I have another one of my favorite books of all time, and I think it's a perfect book to read at the beach because of its cover alone, and that book is Monsters by Emerald Fennell. It's basically about these two kids who meet in the summertime, and around the area that they live in there's been a couple of murders, and they get really obsessed with these dead people and trying to find who killed them, and that leads to creepy things because these children are very impressionable to one another. I did do a non-spoilery book review on this, so I will leave the link to it down below, but I think this is the perfect read when you just have a lot of time to kill, because you could easily read this in one sitting. The next book I have to recommend, I don't have a physical copy of. It's called Tomorrow When the War Began by John Marsden. It's a post-apocalyptic novel about these kids who just finished high school and they want to do something to celebrate, so they go away for like camping or something, and then when they come back their whole kind of town and city have been invaded. And I haven't finished the series, but the first book is really good. They did a movie adaptation of it which I really enjoyed. If you're into post-apocalyptic dystopian type worlds, especially involving teenagers, definitely check it out. Next, I have a slightly paranormal book to recommend, and it's Companions of the Night by Vivian Van Velde. I covered the cover because I hate it, and I really want to recommend this book to people, but I don't want them to see the cover because they're going to judge it and they're gonna not like it. Basically, this is a vampire book. Now, before you roll your eyes, this was written before the Twilight phase, so there is none of that in this, and it is about this girl who one night goes into a laundromat and she witnesses this kidnapping. It's a bunch of guys kidnapping this young man. She basically saves this young man, and the story kind of follows them in the span of I think a few days, because when she gets back home her father and brother were also kidnapped, and so she has to try and find them. I like what she's done with the vampire folklore, and yeah, it's also a really short read, so I think you could read this just like by the pool or something. I did a non-spoilery book review on this. If you want to check it out, I will leave it down below. The last book I have to recommend for you guys is from the horror genre, and it is The Ruins by Scott Smith. Now, this book I feel like would be the perfect beach read or road trip read. It's just a perfect summertime read for me. I think, even though I didn't read it in the summer, it's basically about a group of friends going on holidays to Mexico, and they discover some ruins and they get trapped there. It reminds me of those cheesy 90s horror type movies, but like a little bit better. So if you're in the mood for a little bit of a suspense and horrific things happening to people, I definitely think you should check it out. I did do a book review on it. I did both a written one and a video one. I'm not sure if the video one is going to be up by the time this one is up, but the written one would definitely be up on my blog, so I will leave the link to it down below. It's all spoiler free. Every book review I do is spoiler free. But yeah, those were my 5 book recommendations that I think would be perfect when you're on a road trip or just on holidays. Let me know down below if you have some quick read book recommendations for me, and I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys soon.